So the reactivation blueprint, it's a long time coming. Now I can actually see Diana too. What we're talking about is automation. We're not just talking about reactivations. There's a few things we're going to cover today. Why most clinics lose patients quietly, the slow death, if you would, of attrition in our practices. What today's tools miss about patient retention, how PatientHub automates recall and reactivation end to end, and the real ROI. Reactivation easily can add 12 to 24,000 in quick revenue. There's really two different kind of benefits once you kick on an automated reactivation system. One is immediate results. Imagine you haven't been doing reactivations at all, or you have been, but you've been doing them manually. Once you automate it, you get a quick influx of reactivated patients, and then you've got the steady drip of reactivation patients after that as you consistently do it. How to apply the framework in your practice. Diana just messaged me if there's anything wrong with the slides as I go through. Every practice has hidden revenue waiting. 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months, 1 year. This is the amount of time that patients, or buckets if you would, of patients. Every practice, unless you've only been open for 6 weeks or 6 months, has all of these buckets, right? So you got patients that are recently inactive, you got patients that have been active for a while, 6 weeks, much longer, all the way up to a year and beyond, right? Patients that are inactive for a considerable amount of time, I would say over a year, their reachability starts going down too. And patients don't stop needing care. They don't stop chiropractic care because they don't like you, or they don't like chiropractic all of a sudden, or some philosophy or religion. They stop because they just stop. Just like you stop doing things that are good for you. And sometimes it takes a nudge from a friend, a colleague, somebody you're accountable to give you a nudge to get back on top of doing that thing that is good for you. It could be the gym, it could be your diet, it could be a bad habit that you lapsed into, it could be a million things. People, that go to church, stop going to church all of a sudden, and then next thing you know, it's 2 months, and they see a friend of theirs at the grocery store, and that goes to church with them, and then it's like, hey, I haven't seen you. And it's like, it's that little nudge, that little gentle reminder, that little tug on your heart that reminds people to get back in there. And so patients that have gone inactive, practices should see them as nothing other than somebody that needs your help, just like they did to begin with. And in most cases, they still know you, like you, and trust you. So it's not even like you have to, they're the most profitable new patients you can get, right? They're the easiest to convert. They know exactly what to expect. They usually need to be reminded. I'm going to give you a story, actually. Patients that need to be reactivated, that how much they actually forget. I had a new patient, this is years and years ago, came in, had constant headaches and low back pain, was taking 12 Advil a day, came to the first re-exam and checking in, reviewing, where they started. How are those headaches? And they literally asked me, what headaches? What headaches? I said, you were taking 12 Advil a day, weren't you? And then he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, this was debilitating pain. And within 12 visits, they forgot it completely, right? It's a month later. And so it's just human nature, especially when it comes to pain, that patients sometimes are doing so much better, they forget how much pain they were in, how that was affecting their daily life, how that was affecting everybody around them. They just forget. When they're out of pain, they forget all about it. Maybe it's a defense mechanism, I'm not sure, but they do forget. And they certainly, if they forget about the pain they're in, they can certainly forget about the further benefit of chiropractic care, right? They could forget the wellness aspects of it, or the fact that it's preventative, right? If they can forget headaches every single day, taking 12 Advil, they can forget the principle of chiropractic and the philosophy and all that for sure. So we've got to, one thing to prevent this is attrition, or patients going inactive, is education. And everybody knows that, patient education. But patients don't stop because they don't like you. I mean, the large majority of patients weren't offended. And even if they were, you should still be reaching out to them to figure out what happened to them. And maybe it was a staff member rubbed them the wrong way or something like that. You still want to know about that. Missed follow-ups cost more than missed visits. Inactive lists often represent tens of thousands of dollars in lost revenue. Why common tools stop short of true reactivation? They're good for engagement, but they're not built for health care outcomes. So the typical tool, you send reminders for appointments. That's nice. It connects to social media, focuses on engagement, manual reporting, no HIPAA compliance. Where it stops is it's not visible into the patient return on investment. Unless you can actually see on a dashboard what's actually happening, you don't really know if patients are being retained or reactivated, right? And most of those tools don't connect deeply with their EHRs. We've had for years many integrations with third-party systems that do reminders and review generation, and that's good, but that's not the same as ClinicMind building a product deeply integrated with its EHR. It lacks reactivations and recall campaigns, no revenue dashboards. So dashboards are super important, and it limits personalized patient care. I want to talk a little bit about statistics. This is a kind of like a case study, but I want to give you the high number metrics of reactivations. A practice that actually has a reactivation process in place, a manual one. There's typically, you're going to call patients, somebody's going to be responsible for calling all the patients that have gone inactive. To do that, you got to generate a list. Hopefully in EHR, if you're using another one, it can generate a list of those patients that haven't been in a while. Obviously we have that in a whole different way, and then somebody's got to be responsible for calling that list. And so once you get to that point, a report of patients, it's really hard to keep any one person accountable. And as a practice gets busier, you're kind of become a victim of your own success. Somebody's calling those patients, let's say they are successful, they start reactivating them. All of a sudden you got a whole bunch of reactivated patients. Well, next thing you know, they're busy with reactivated patients and they stop recalling the inactive patients. And so it's a vicious cycle that you can't keep following up because you get too busy. Also, it's just manual and it's a burnout job. It's a burnout thing, and doctors even forget about, and practice owners forget about checking on that process and verifying that it was actually happening. So maybe they call, maybe they send out emails, maybe they send out direct mail, whatever the case may be. The best case scenario statistically for a manual reactivation system is 4%. Just by going from manual to automated, just by being consistent and never missing a follow-up, just consistently following up with patients in an automated way, your return on your investment goes from 4 to 10 to 20%. It's a massive, massive difference. So this is just an example of one new practice that had 86 patients reactivate and 27% fewer. Where automation meets clarity, it lives inside your opportunities pipeline, meaning that when you're in PatientHub, and we're talking about PatientHub, reactivation campaigns live in PatientHub. Your pipeline in PatientHub, you can see it. So imagine you can see now a dashboard of patients and how many patients are in each bucket, the 3 weeks, the 6 weeks, the 6 months, the 1 year, right? And you can see that they're actively in each campaign. That's automated, so you can just rest assured that those patients are being followed up with and the system is trying to reactivate them. You can see them all, and you can also see how many are actually being reactivated. And it's scheduled right into ClinicMind, right? They're getting right scheduled into ClinicMind. So now imagine you see that dashboard. Now the dashboard is the automated stuff. Now it doesn't prevent you from seeing who's in those buckets. And all of a sudden you see, hey, Mary is, in that bucket. And that's a patient that you had a really good rapport with. You can remember their case. They had some miracle happen. They were taking 12 Advil a day, and then they were off it in 12 visits, and you remember them and you remember that interaction. It doesn't prevent you from also using PatientHub and the multi-channel communication to just manually reach out to them and say, hey, this is Dr. So-and-so, or your front desk, the office manager, whoever. Also engaging in a manual way, and just as a backup, having it happen automatically. So that's an opportunity pipeline, being able to see where everybody stands, where your inactive patients stand. So it automatically identifies patients inactive from 3 to 52 weeks, sends personalized AI-powered outreach And my little Zoom thing is covering my last box here. So tracks booked appointments and revenue per campaign, per patient. So if they're scheduled, it's going to assume each patient represents, and that's customizable. Each patient in the pipeline represents some amount of revenue. So you may say a reactivated patient is worth $1,000 or $2,000. And so you can actually see in that pipeline how much money opportunity sits in each bucket. And of course, when they schedule, how much was won. So from follow-up to forecast, every patient, every dollar, every month. 41 reactivated patients, 13,000 potential revenue, $9,800 actually booked. See monthly reactivation value, measure booked versus potential revenue, and identify top performing campaigns. Real data, real practices, real ROI. So again, this is the case study, 24 practices analyzed. We saw that increase reactivation number from 10 to 20%. Just by automating it. Practices easily see 12 to 24. That's that initial bump, and then recurring annually. PatientHub, this pays for PatientHub by itself. PatientHub does a million different other things that are awesome as well. You got AI scheduling bots and all kinds of review campaigns, and AI is responding to your reviews, boosting your visibility and your AI search and all that stuff. All kinds of AI tools for writing content, creating ads. You have your posting calendar, so you can see and post out all your social media posting out for weeks or months in advance. The unified inbox to communicate with patients across multi-channels, email, text, social, so on and so forth. There's dozens and dozens of awesome features in PatientHub. Not even counting this pays for it by itself. Competitors, limitations, like I just mentioned, that's one-way messaging. PatientHub now has two-way messaging and AI engagement. Two-way messaging, some other systems have two-way messaging, but do they have a multi-channel communication? Unified inbox is what we call it. So imagine your patient emails you one day, sends you an SMS another day, your automated system sends them a reminder, they message you from Facebook another day, and all the while there's one communication thread and there's two different team members of yours returning and responding to those messages all in one place, so nobody is lost in the conversation. Anybody in your office can get into that conversation at any point and see a full history of all the communications that have happened with that patient. Data silos, so full ClinicMind EHR integration, no ROI visibility, which is kind of discussed that just now with the pipeline, the dashboards, and the return on the investment. They have manual follow-ups. This is always on automation, and generic outreach and HIPAA compliant. And we have not just generic, but HIPAA compliant personalization. How do we set this up? If you're already a ClinicMind customer, we're just turning on PatientHub, setting it up, making sure the data is syncing properly. We launch right away the reactivation automation. Campaigns are running. We review the results in the dashboard, and patients start showing up, scheduling and showing up, and then we optimize those things and measure the return on investment on the different campaigns for reactivation and establish, and the ROI is established. So within 4 weeks, everything is running smoothly and optimized for your return on investment. So what inaction costs? Every inactive patient is potential revenue sitting still each week without automation costs time, energy, money, and thousands of missed care opportunities. And that's just the numbers. Of course, these people, like I said, it's not like they still know you, they still like you, they still trust you. And the most important is they need you. And they just forgot. People just forget. Just think about yourself. Unless you're superhuman, you've forgotten to do something really important in your life, or you kind of minimized it for a while, knowing that you should do it and you haven't done it, and you just needed a nudge, and then you did it. Somebody just came along that nudged you along, and you wound up getting back on that thing, and you were grateful for the nudge. And this just helps automate that. And for business, in that when you're in the business of helping people, it's also a great return on the investment. So here's your free reactivation blueprint to help you take the next step. You can download, there's an ebook where we outline all the steps to it, the return on investment. There's actually a ROI calculator with that. So you can use that QR code there to go to the landing page. I actually have another little video on that page that explains a little bit more about it. Give people a minute there. Exclusive offer or webinar attendees free for 1 year. Reactivation's free for 1 year. This thing pays for PatientHub all day long. Free for 1 year. Sign up for PatientHub's premium or elite plan and receive the following for free: Reactivation AI setup, automated campaigns, reactivation dashboard, ROI tracking, 1 full year of access included. Book your discovery call. That QR code is to book a discovery call and demo a bit more of the system. Since we have some more time, I wanted to keep this short and sweet today, but we do have some time. So Diana, do you want to maybe show a little bit of the dashboard?
The opportunity pipeline for you to see patients, reactivated patients there. So we have an opportunity pipeline here, and you can see we've split it up into those buckets. So 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months, and 1 year. This is all test accounts in here, and you can see who is in those campaigns and receiving those automated messages. And the very last one, we can see who's scheduled from those campaigns. So if anyone schedules an appointment from any of the reactivation campaigns, they will show up here. And then we also want you to see that on the dashboard that we spoke about. So we have a dashboard set up in PatientHub. If we scroll down, we are showing how many reactivated appointments have been scheduled this month. So you have a clear number and view on that. And then we have the value of those appointments. So as Dr. Brian said, you can tell us how much value that a new patient or a reactivated patient would be worth to you. And that's all customizable. And we'll set that up within your dashboard. And you can see here that we've allocated 1,000 per new patient. So it's come up as there are 7 appointments booked. So the revenue there is 7,000. And then you have the potential of 29,000 in the pipeline still going. And as part of the reactivation offer that we have today, our AI can actually schedule those appointments for you. So as well as reaching out and sending automated messages, if a patient sends a message back, then our reactivation AI can actually schedule the appointment on your calendar, and that will show up on your ClinicMind calendar as well.
It does all the stuff you would expect, right? So you have all your reminders, your reactivations, your reviews. It responds to your reviews, all kinds of AI tools to create content and your social posting, and it's a million different things PatientHub does. But also there are AI scheduling voice bots and AI scheduling chat bots. So you can stick that on your website. You literally can have a phone conversation with a new patient and schedule it. It's unbelievable. I don't know if you ever tried it. The first time you tried it, the revenue generated in this with full service. Revenue generated is this with full service. Yeah, I'm looking to try to do that myself for you, Sean.
The full service is with when you're fully using the credentialing hub part of ClinicMind, from what I understand, right? If I have inactive patients, I now become fully credentialed with all the insurance panels. We reach out to these patients with PatientHub. They come back in. So like, for example, I have X amount of patients that are inactive, but I am not using the credentialing hub. I'm just using the EMR and the scheduling stuff. I'm in network with Independent Health, ideally to maximize what my practice should have.
So there is a new pricing model coming out. It's not quite there yet. Probably by the end of the year, where you pay one price per visit, $2 per patient visit per month, but it caps out at $950, and you literally get everything on our platform, which you get PatientHub, now credentialing is not included in that, or this. I cannot remember off the top of my head what the credentialing service cost is, but it's nominal. It's very small per month fee.
This is full everything for PatientHub. It's huge, actually.
Unfortunately, the one price model is 3/4 baked. It's not quite there yet. We got a lot of just logistical stuff to do in the background and all that stuff to get it all set up, but we're close. We're getting there. Well, let me share one more time. This is the QR code for the reactivation blueprint. download that. There's also a video there on the landing page, and the return on investment calculator. You just plug in your practice numbers, only a few numbers. It's like your patient visits and how long you've been in practice and what's your case average. And it'll show you what you can expect the ROI to be on this. So I strongly recommend that. And then secondly, you can use this to schedule. So if anybody's watching the recording after this, you can go ahead and use this to schedule to see the reactivation, more about the reactivation, ask questions, and take the special offer that comes with this. Well, thanks everybody for joining, and we hope to do more of these on a regular basis. So we'll see you soon.
ClinicMind, your all-in partner for practice success.